everybody. Hi, I'm Mary. I'm the showrunner of Monsterland. I'm going live with Taylor Schilling. In just a minute. I think she is going to add me. How's everybody doing? Hi, Charlotte and Vivian. Hi, thank you. I like my wallpaper too. Let's see. Hi, Courtney. Hi, I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Monsterland. Let me see if maybe I can add Taylor. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Taylor, if you're here, I'm so bad at this. Where is Taylor? Yeah, I'm sorry. I might be screwing this up because I don't know how to do it. She's coming. Does she need to join and send a request? Yes. You are not late. We've been having some technical difficulties, I think, largely because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in LA and in my office, and we're just waiting for Taylor Schilling. She's gonna join us. Yes, lots of hearts for Taylor. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Monsterland, which dropped on Hulu this Friday. Taylor's coming. Oh, I love Taylor's fans. You guys are so awesome. You guys have so much love and positivity for amazing Taylor Schilling. Taylor's in our 5th episode of Monsterland. All episodes are now streaming on Hulu. Hi. Hi from Long Beach. Yes, so my name is Mary Laws. I'm the showrunner and creator of Monsterland, that Taylor is a part of, one of our cast members. And I'm not sure where she is. I think it's my fault because the show is scary. Yeah, so Monsterland, it is kind of scary, but it's also very emotional. Taylor's episode was it's very sad and very beautiful. Let's see. I'm just gonna shoot her a text. I'm here with all your biggest fans. Should we try to contact her for you? Sure. Come whenever you're ready. Oh, I'm glad you're still thinking about Taylor's episode. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Monsterland is an anthology series. So every episode is different, a different story. And has a different cast. So Taylor is only in the 5th episode, but we have a really amazing cast. Mike Coulter, Nicole Bahari, Caitlin Deaver, Jonathan Tucker, some amazing people. Let's see. Send invites. Yes, there she is. All right. I'm glad you liked the show.
Hi, Mary.
We did it!
I didn't know what I was doing. I needed a lot of help.
I mean, me too. I think I was on the phone going, I mean, it was bound to happen. Let me see if I can do this so you can see more of my face. I can't.
I don't have it set up on I just have a really bright light, so I'm making a fake ring light.
Perfect. That's all you need. Hi.
Hi. It's so nice
It's great to see you. Thanks for coming on to talk today. How are you feeling?
I'm so excited that it's finally out. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm so excited that people are finally able to watch the series. You know, it's been a really long time in the making. I think it was right after the last election that I started developing it. So it's been a minute. And it feels, I'm so grateful that we actually finished it in the middle of all this chaos, because we haven't really talked about it much, but we had to shut down our post-production because
that's right. I feel like when we were chatting a couple months ago, you briefly mentioned that. And so you all went remote and
yeah, we had post-production in New York, and we were all set up, and we had edited the first 2 episodes, and then COVID really put a wrench in the gears, and so we all went home and did everything remotely, which was like so hard, but also such a feat of our amazing post-production team. But it's just it's the first show I've ever show run, and so it's been a really unusual process.
I'd say so.
Yeah, but I'm so excited, and I think people are they love your episode. Taylor, I know you don't watch it. I haven't watched them actually.
I know I haven't been able to watch the series also. Like I wish I could be at moments like this, because I want to be more supportive, but I first have to be supportive to myself. And if I can't watch it. Yeah. I've been around but I hear that it's really scary and people are really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's scary, and I think it's emotional too, and I think I've been getting some really lovely messages about people.
So happy to hear that. You deserve everything. You deserve all the practice. The writing is so good, and the kind of the ethos that you imbued the project with is just so important right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we were so lucky to have a crew of people on that show with really big hearts. And I think because it was such a really hard show to produce, I mean, for people who don't know, it's an anthology series. So every episode is a totally different setup, totally different set, totally different cast. And so it makes it harder to produce. And I think we were just really lucky that our crew and our post-production team and everyone on the show had like good, solid hearts and treated each other with a lot of respect. And I feel like that was really the only way we were able to do it, you know, because it's too hard. What is it like for you coming onto a show like that? because I know it must feel so different than something like Orange is the New Black, where you're a regular and you all are like really a family and tight knit. What is it like coming into something just for like one episode?
Well, I think this is something that we've talked about a little bit before, but what what was most fun about this was there's a tremendous amount of freedom in not knowing anyone. There's actually like not being able to see beyond the footlights kind of feel to the thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
while there's a tremendous amount, there's like a deep level of safety that exists in familiarity. There's also this strange feeling of kind of plunging into an ice pool of not knowing anybody that also is incredibly it's very liberating. It feels very like there's it leaves me feeling very nimble and just free, that there are no expectations. I think with the exception of you and Sue and Logan, oh, and Emily, of course.
Yeah.
Like it was just freedom. I didn't know anybody. It was really a treat. And so, and I think that seems to be how everyone experienced it. Like I have another friend right now who's in Atlanta shooting an anthology series. And he just sent me a bunch of like a tirade of text last night about he thinks that anthology series are the portal to happiness as an actor. That's the sweet spot of just like
maybe in. For actors. For actors. Someone the other day, I was doing some press thing and they were like, so an anthology series, it must be like a lot of mini plays because I come from playwriting and that must feel really great. And I was like, it's so hard. I'm never doing it again. But that's wonderful though. And I think it's great to hear that he's having a good experience. And I think it just makes it all the more important to have like a safe production environment. If you're inviting someone to come in and be raw and vulnerable, which like, oh my God, I don't know how you do what you do. I can barely do this. I've been stressed out all day about like sitting in front of people, and like what you do is so raw. Like you just have to have that really safe, secure environment to come into if you're, a stranger to the group.
And I think that's kind of what makes it I'm getting distracted by all the little comments. It's so sweet. Hi, everybody.
You have the nicest fan group.
I know. I have an incredible, the fans that I've been lucky enough to kind of amass over this life of mine is remarkable. Yes, thank you all so much for watching. So sweet.
Mean, I feel like they're so positive, and
yes. Oh my gosh.
That's like the coolest thing ever. They come to everything you're doing with like such a warm embrace, and I love that.
Talk about that feeling of safety, like where it feels like there's this like sweet, soft bed of people that are ready to catch me no matter what I do. So
that's so cool.
Thank you all for watching.
Very nice, very sweet.
Nice people, Brazil. Nice fans. Thank you. I love you guys too. I really do. So I think that, are there any, Mary, in this space for people who maybe haven't watched the show or like just tuning in, that like what, and I guess that since you're doing a lot of press now, what is which is obviously a very different process from the creative incubating piece. What is kind of emerging as the themes of the show that you most want people to, well, I imagine people can resonate with whatever feels right to them, but what are you most excited to be saying, screaming out into the void at this moment in time?
Well, I think the reason that I wanted to make this show, and I think the thing I've held the most tightly onto through the entire process since like 2016 or 17 or whatever, is that I wanted to tell stories about people who behave monstrously,
Mm,
but to paint a real picture of who those people are and why they are doing the things that they're doing.
yeah.
I think I feel just like I think a lot of people do feel extremely horrified and concerned about how polarized we're becoming. And I think that it's really easy to lose your grasp on what makes us human, and how people make mistakes and are fallible,
Yeah.
and do horrible things, but that we have to look at everyone through the lens of like, we are all these beautiful creations. We are all flesh and blood. Um, we are all fallible. And so I thought that Nathan Ballingred's book, North American Lake Monsters, which a bunch of the stories are based on, was a really amazing platform for that idea, because his book was asking a lot of those same questions. And so that's what I hope people will take away from this. I hope they're entertained, and I hope that they like all the scares and the amazing, I mean, just amazing production value, cinematography, all of that. But I hope they come away from it just asking questions about why the characters did what they did,
Yeah.
and reflecting back on their own humanity a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. And I'm seeing all these like beautiful fans from Orange here. And I think that that's actually something there, if there were the Venn diagram of these two shows kind of exists in that space, that
Mm.
people are more than surface level,
Yes.
and that we are intricate, complicated beings that are so much bigger and
Mm-hmm.
we're galactic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's impossible to be compartmentalized by a deed or a specific feeling, and also mining what it is, why we're experiencing that, um,
Yeah.
those kind of more monstrous parts of ourselves. And that's actually, as you're talking, I'm feeling like that is actually like some interesting overlap between those two,
Two shows. Yeah.
two shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think, Jinji Cohen in general is really good at painting, really like complicated women onto the screen, which I think is really exciting. And um, yeah, I mean, and that's important to me, like I'm a very complicated person, and I'm a
Yes.
woman, and I'm a gay woman, and I mean, I'll sit down to watch a show any given day and I don't see myself on the screen. And I
Yeah.
think like that's what was so wonderful, I think, about your episode.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully other people will be able to see themselves in the show in that way as well, that like it's kind of just like a parade of really imperfect people who are dealing with a lot of trauma. One of our writers, Wesley Strick, who's a wonderful, wonderful writer, he wrote the fourth episode. Someone asked him what the show was about, and he was like, "Oh, trauma," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh," but I think that he was, totally onto something. That I think all of the characters in every episode, and I think yours in particular, are grappling with trauma, or in your episode, mental health issues.
Yes.
And I think Roberta's character was definitely dealing with some of the trauma of the past.
Yes.
And so I think that's also part of what, questioning why people do the things that they do. I think for me, I think I'm really interested in investigating trauma and how it sort of leads us down different complicated paths.
Deeply. And I think that when we're not investigating trauma in someone's past, the danger is to brand someone with their worst deeds
Yes,
or
you're
their worst
you're a bad
moment.
person. Yes.
Yeah, you're a bad person, or you're defined by your worst moment also. And I mean, I think in Kate's case, the character I play in, it's episode 5, right?
Yeah.
In episode 5, that or a suicide attempt, or a mental health crisis, um, that when we examine the underbelly of, whether be it a crime or a mental health moment, um, there's trauma oftentimes at the root of it,
Mm-hmm.
and exploring the the subterranean spaces of exploring the roots of what produces eventually an action or a
Yeah.
or a behavior is kind of what you're doing in a really exciting and entertaining way.
I hope so. I mean, I just think it's so easy to put people in little boxes. And I think that
Yes.
the internet wants to do that, the world
Yeah.
wants to do that. And I mean, no human being belongs in a box because
Yeah.
we're all beautiful, different flowers.
Exactly. And I think just leaving space for that is what as we can do that internally and then do that for one another and do that in our art and do that in our communities, that's when we can kind of like shift the dial for each other.
Yeah. I want to know, I'm curious before we get off, like, what what do you look for when you're picking a role? What is it that you are are drawn to, or what is like I know this was very different, and when we were first talking, I remember our first conversation, you know, I you had a lot of questions about the horror elements of it,
Yeah.
and I think wanting to make sure that it was done in a really graceful and elegant way, which is honestly how I knew this was going to be such a wonderful fit too, because
Yeah.
those were very important to me too. But like, whether you're doing a something that's in more in the dramatic space or something that's more in a genre space, like what draws you to it?
I think that we also have another, like our personal Venn diagram exists. We have an overlap here. I mean, what is most interesting to me always are the parts of ourselves that we deem unacceptable. And I like to explore that terrain. And
Yes.
in doing so, I hope that I can make it a little, if it, you know, if even one person can have an experience of um, um, recognizing their own internally unacceptable terrain as acceptable or
Mm-hmm.
more normalized. I
Mm-hmm.
think I mean, that's the gold standard for
Mm-hmm.
finding a project. But that's what interests me, the off limit, the
Yeah.
black limit. I'm
Yeah,
interested in
definitely.
like in what's in the, yeah, I'm interested in our what that is. So whenever I can, and you know, sometimes for me, I can find things that I find really scary or really internally unacceptable for myself in very uh, conventional pieces.
Hmm.
Because sometimes for me, you know, I can find it's there can be foreign terrain in a dinner party. Do you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Like a dinner party, absolutely wild,
Yeah.
completely off limits territory, and that and so then I think I can also bring something different or interesting
Mm.
into that because it's
Mm-hmm.
not something that I see as an everyday event.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that that you're like supposed to write about what you're afraid of, right? And I guess
Mm.
I think also writing about, and as an actor exploring the things that you're ashamed of too. I think that that's really fantastic and a really interesting way to enter an artistic space, because those are like the dark pockets of our life. I don't know about, I deal with shame in a big way. Like that's sort of my trigger
Yeah.
thing is like um and so I think writing is a way for me of being really vulnerable about those dark spaces in my life, those things that I feel really afraid to show, to really put out into the world. And it's a way of saying like, you know, here's a scary thing about being human. um I've just been thinking so much lately about why we tell stories in general. And I think being able to see exactly what you're saying, being able to see um, something in yourself that you're like afraid of on screen, it just makes you feel so much less alone. Um,
Yeah. I mean, and I think the less alien, I can speak for myself, the less alienated I feel from myself,
Yeah.
the better able I am to show up in the world
Yes.
as a productive and functioning and serviceable human.
Yes, because you know the world
others.
is the world is for you because they're telling stories about you.
Yeah, you
and
exist.
so
There's a place to exist that you exist, you know.
yes,
I mean, like
yes.
we don't know we're there until we see ourselves mirrored, even as, you know, those mirroring neurons as we're tiny little babies. So I think that's what and I mean, certainly, Mary, that's what you're doing here. You're giving space for all sorts of selves to, and all of ourselves to be mirrored, and lots of different, you know, finding the universality in a lot of different experiences, which is really powerful. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole,
That's it.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
We figured it out. We're done. Bye. Oh man. I mean, yeah. That's it. Well, I mean, thank you for coming on to talk to me. This is
thank you.
Pleasure.
I know.
This
is
a
like
joy.
You are. This is like the second time I've ever done this. So thanks.
It's my first time, which is why I'm sorry we were really late, everyone. I was like, I know this is going to happen. Here's what I do is that I get really stressed out about the fact that I have to do like something like this that's live or just something like technology based. So then I just walk around my house really stressed out about it instead of actually like sitting down to make sure that I'm set up for
it
success.
all works. Yeah, I know exactly. There's a lot of like, that's exactly what happened. I have no idea. I figured this out 2 seconds before because I was in avoidance mode. I had no idea. But I have to say, it's really, I thank you to everyone who's watching this at all. Appreciate it so much. And I'm sorry I can't look at the comments and talk to Mary at the same time because I can't.
I think there's a lot of love here in the comments, and
you guys are so wonderful.
You guys are really wonderful.
And I hope that anybody who's watching this and watches Monsterland enjoys it.
Yeah, please come. Everything is streaming on Hulu right now.
Thanks on a walk.
There's 8 episodes. They're all really, really different. Taylor's in the 5th episode, and we hope you'll tune in and tell us what you think. I want to know what you think. I'm so excited about the messages I've been getting, and I love hearing your reflections of the show. So tell us.
Yes. Me too. I can't wait, and I can't wait to talk. Yeah, Mary, we'll connect soon once this has been out for a minute. We can figure out more. We can solve more problems, like we did today.
I would. I mean, there's enough problems. We could, even if we just chip away at one of them. I'm sure that'll be helpful.
Yeah. Well, I think we got something done today. The importance of mirroring in art and in life.
There we go.
So we got something done.
Yeah. Well, you're the best. It's always so great to see you. I
know, you too. It's really wonderful. And congratulations. It's such a big deal. This is what has happened is a huge deal. So
thank you.
I'm so happy to be a part of this wave for you.
Thank you. I'm so happy you were. We all had such a wonderful time working with you, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, we will. I know we will.
Yeah,
I will. Okay, so we'll be in touch on text. Okay. And now I don't even know how to like leave this, so I feel like
I don't either. I might.
Afraid. Stay on.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Taylor.
Bye.